say. What do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
It's time!
Welcome back to another Sunday afternoon edition of Software Explorations. Today we are going to get back finally into Terraform. If you don't know who I am yours truly, your favorite of all times, technical coach, Tech Coach Ralph. Right? And let me put this up right here. Boom. Here I am, right there, right there. I am Tech Coach Ralph, your favorite technical coach, and we will get into it today. We are going to be going over Terraform. So pretty much the Terraform thing is, I wanted to learn Terraform, so I am taking a course, and on Sundays we will do some of the projects, but not. I don't just do the project exactly how they say in the course. I apply it to what I'm going to be needing Terraform for. So a lot of it is QA related. So that's what I am focusing on. In the past, we did Terraform where we set up an AWS instance. We installed Docker on it, and then we started up a Selenium grid on it. So we're going to build upon that, and we will go from there. Right. So before we go any further, let's get into our agenda for today. And with the internet issues that we had last week and then 3 weeks ago, I did something to try to prevent that. But, so if the internet is to drop off a little bit, the stream should not get cut off, but we should get back on once the internet picks back up. So bear with me with that. We are testing that out today to see how that goes. So you let me know. All right. And if you see some buffering, put it in the chat, and I'll try to fix that, try to address it. All right. But thank you for bearing along with me and for being here this amazing Sunday afternoon. So let's get into our agenda before we go any further. Okay. All right. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you to all of the newest subscribers to the channel. We are having some fast growth. I really appreciate you guys being here.
I appreciate you.
And being able to share with you about pretty much my technical journey, my insight into the tech field. We get to learn together, whether we're doing Terraform or how this past Thursday night we did Cypress. That was my first time using Cypress. I heard a lot of hype about Cypress, and I was like, I'm not too concerned with it. But after using it, I was really impressed with it. Which should I say it now? We are going to try to take on Don's challenge today using Cypress instead of going at it with Selenium WebDriver. We're going to try it with Cypress to see if we can get it any further. My JavaScript code is not the best code in the world, so we will have to struggle code along and see how we can get there. But that is the plan for today once we get into the show. So what we are so yeah, I just want to say thank you to all the new subscribers and for being here, for learning with me, and for letting me share my technical experience and technical journey with you. I want to say also, if you haven't done so yet, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live and that every time we release new content, because everything that is created here is to help you get better, to change your mindset, whether it's in the workplace or whether it's in life, and to gain the skills that you need to do the things that you need to do so you can be successful. And of course, like the video, share the video with somebody who can find it useful. And of course, check out the Patreon. You can access the Patreon just by going to techcoachralph.dev, and it'll take you to the Patreon page, and you can take a look around there. You can actually sign up for the Patreon for free, and you can choose a tier if you want as well. So check it out and see what's going on there. I'm just trying to add value in many different ways to you. All right. And now let's get into our live show schedule. So Sunday afternoons, like we have today at 2:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have software explorations. We are working our way through Terraform right now. To me, Terraform is a part of DevOps, but it is not the whole encompassing DevOps. It's just a part of it. So what that means is, after we are done with Terraform, our series through Terraform, we're going to go more comprehensively through DevOps, where we're going to be looking into things like Ansible and all these other tools that's used for the DevOps process, right? I believe that whatever role that you have in the tech industry, like for me, for example, I'm a QA engineer, but whether you're a software engineer, maybe you're a DevOps engineer, maybe you're a cybersecurity person, right? Whatever it is, I think you should know enough about all the other technologies so that you can easily pivot and be useful and be able to join the conversation and not just be like totally ignorant to what's going on. So that's one of the main reasons that I like to explore all these different softwares. Even if I don't become an expert in it, I can do enough to be dangerous. And then one day, if I do want to pivot, I just have to ramp up a little bit more. But I already have the foundation, I already have the basic knowledge of it. So that's why I am always exploring, always willing to volunteer to help out and just get better. So and that's my goal for anyone who follows this channel. I want you guys to be elite. I want you guys to be superior in your endeavors, and not just not just hope. Like I don't like to live off hope. I want to be confident, and I want to push forward, and that's my goal, to try to help you guys as well. So yeah, so that's the goal, all right, with these software explorations. So Sunday afternoons, software explorations, we're working our way through Terraform, 2:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we have Tuesday nights, we have our Q&A sessions where I source questions around the web that's related to mostly right now related to QA, but we do dive into some other topics now and then, but I'm also able to answer any questions as well. So we have questions that are sourced around the internet, and then I also answer your questions, and I make it available that you can actually call into the show as well. So I got that situated. So if you want to talk with me, you can call into the show. We can have a conversation, and I can answer your questions. So that's Tuesday nights Q&A sessions. All right. And then we have Thursday nights where we have our software explorations, where so software explorations, a lot of times right now it's QA focused, but it can change as well, because I also want to go into like the web development, because I believe that as a QA engineer, if you don't have to become an actual software engineer or a full stack developer, but if you can know what's going on, and you can take a course, do some damage in it, that will make your ability, your skills even that much more powerful when it comes to doing quality assurance, to writing automated tests, to reporting defects, to understand when you get a error in the console, to get a better understanding. So that is like another purpose of the software explorations, and why we go through so many different softwares, why I like learning about DevOps, why I like learning about full stack development, why I like learning about the different databases, whether it's SQL or or NoSQL, such as MongoDB and things like that, or whether I like to dive into data engineering with like Airflow and stuff like that. So that is the point, and that's what we do, right? So Thursday nights, software explorations. This past Thursday, like I mentioned, we did Cypress, and we are going to do a part two of Cypress this coming Thursday, where we are going to try to implement the page object model. So first time using Cypress last Thursday. This Thursday, we're going to try to implement the page object model, try to make the code a little bit cleaner. Try to have some fun with it. So that's coming this Thursday night. So tune in for that. So Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Times, where we launch, and I would really appreciate to see you there as well. All right. All right. So before I get into the pre-recorded content, let me check something real quick. All right. Mm, All right. Good to go. All right. Perfect. So now, where are we? Okay. So now let's get into our pre-recorded show content. So Mondays we have, and all these times, all the like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday release at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Mondays, we have candid conversations. Tomorrow's topic of discussion is nobody owes you anything. All right. So that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Why I believe nobody owes you anything, and you have to work for everything that you have. If you do not work, you do not eat. All right. So that is Monday's Candid Conversation. Wednesdays, we have software explorations, concept and overviews, where I create a presentation and I present some type of software to you, and we go through that together. Last week, we had part one of understanding Docker. And this week, we're going to go into part two, where we're going to finish up talking about Docker, why it's so important. And I will also put an article in the chat, because one of the comments was about why is Docker isolation important. So I put together a quick document, put together a quick blog post on my website on the importance of isolation in Docker, enhancing security and efficiency. So you guys can go and check that out if you are interested in why it's important. But I'll just read the first paragraph to you. Right? It says, in the world of containerization and modernization, and in the world of containerization and modern software development, Docker has emerged as a game changer. Docker simplifies the process of developing, shipping, and running applications by encapsulating them within containers. One of the key principles that underpin Docker's success is isolation. In this blog post, we'll explore why isolation is crucial in Docker and how it enhances security, efficiency, and overall software development. So I would highly encourage you to take a look at that blog post, because as you're understanding Docker, there are so many components to Docker, so many things that you can do, but isolation is a big principle. So I would highly recommend you take a look at that blog post, and I will also put that in the description as well, so you can check that out. All right, so that is that. And one last time I'm going to mention this, I wanted to say shout out to the cybersecurity panel that we had last week, Saturday. It was an amazing panel, and if you have not checked that out yet, I would highly recommend that you check it out if you're interested in cybersecurity. And if you just in general, if you're in tech, right, I think you should be interested in at least knowing the aspects of cybersecurity. If you're a QA engineer, super important, because believe it or not, QA plays a huge role in cybersecurity. And to be honest, it's a part of cybersecurity, right? It's like QA touches pretty much everything, but cybersecurity is a big part of it. Keeping the application secure, protecting your customers. My number one goal, at least, is the satisfaction and the safety of our customers. Because if we do not have customer satisfaction and we do not have customer safety, we have no company. All right. So check out that panel. We had some amazing panelists on there. We had Socks, we had Ashley, we had Marcus, and I was there to help moderate, push the conversation along. But it was great, and I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna be reaching out to Socks to see what else we can do to keep this momentum going, because It was a great event, and I think that we can accomplish a lot together. All right. So one more time before we get into it, and you know what? I'm gonna bring in LinkedIn. It's always a hassle to bring in LinkedIn, but let's do it. All right, let's do it. I'm gonna try real quick, and if it is a pain, then I am just going to drop it, and I'll prepare for LinkedIn next time. Let's do that. All right, here we are, and we're gonna bring in LinkedIn because I want to bring in LinkedIn for our challenge. Because once we get started in this challenge, I want to, because we can get some feedback, get some more visibility, all that good stuff. All right, so let's see. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. Sure. All right, cool. Let's go now. Let's go here. URL. So LinkedIn uses Azure for their live streaming. And it's amazing. Like once you work in the industry, now you start seeing all these little things. You're like, oh, okay, this is how this works, and that's how that works. All right, so we are good here, and we are 3, 2, 1. We are bringing in LinkedIn right about now. Let's see how that goes. Let me see. I don't see anything happening yet. All right, there we go. Let's see, where is LinkedIn? Time. Well, let's see what happens. I don't see anything happening yet. All right, we are live on LinkedIn. Welcome in LinkedIn to anyone who's watching on LinkedIn. So happy to have you here. And we already got started. We are on the phase. So what we already did so far, we talked about our live show schedule. We talked about our pre-recording content. All this stuff is happening on YouTube. I also thank the newest subscribers. And we brought LinkedIn to the show because we are about to start our implementation phase where we are going to go into our code challenge, and then we are going to start going through Terraform, where we're going to do 20 minutes of implementation, and then we will do a 5-minute break where we look for jobs on LinkedIn, Glassdoor, and things like that. Haven't decided what type of job we're going to look for today, but we'll see. So our plan for today is we are going to we're going to install Git on the EC2 instance. So we're going to continue with what we were pretty much the script that we're working on last time. We're going to install Git on the EC2 instance, and then we are going to pull in a Git repo, and then we're going to install the requirements via the python.txt file, And then we are going to run the automated test via Selenium Grid. And then we're going to work on store Terraform remote backend file in S3. Not sure if we're going to get to the last part today, but we shall definitely try. But if not, then that's where we'll pick it up. That's where we'll pick up next time. So we'll see where we go from there. Okay. Alrighty then. So, like I said, we're going to start off with our code challenge. I should have opened Docker before I got started, but we'll do it as we get there. So Docker is opening up. And now that Docker's open. And speaking of Docker, right? I will show you guys that the way that I'm going to start up the Docker container, because it's like I could do it through the Docker GUI, but I believe that it's so important to get familiar with using the Docker command. So I'm going to do it in the command line as we get started, and it'll also lead into the Docker software explorations that we had come out last Wednesday at 12 p.m. noon, and then we have it coming out. We have part 2 coming out this Wednesday at 12 p.m. noon Eastern Standard Time. So that's what we're gonna do. We are going to bring in we're gonna use Docker. We're gonna start it up, and then we're going to use Cypress to try to get further along in this challenge, this evil challenge that our terrible friend Don has presented us with. All right, so I got WebStorm open, or it's opening, and I got Docker open. So let me put WebStorm on its proper computer, or proper computer. Put it on its proper monitor. And then what I'm going to do is, okay, so then I'm going to open up a terminal. I can do it here. Should I open up a terminal? No, what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up the, just to give you guys a little recap of it, of the challenge that we're working on. Copy that. All right. So let's recap, because we haven't gone through this for a couple of weeks now. So let's go to our here. All right. So we have the Web UI Automation Challenge. I would highly encourage you to give this challenge a try. It is a pain in the butt. All right. But it challenges your, like, the way that it challenges your thought process, your creativity, your thinking skills. It is an amazing challenge to get into. All right. I would highly recommend that you give it a try. Let me move this thing over. All right, cool. So yeah, like I was saying, I would highly recommend you giving that challenge a try. It's really good. So and we're gonna get into it. All right. So what is a Web UI challenge, right? The Web UI Automation Challenge. This repository contains the code for a Web UI Automation Challenge. The challenge is to find a span containing a dynamically generated UUID for double-click this element and assert that it turns green. Then these tests must rerun with 100% success rate over multiple runs. So the 100% success rate over multiple runs, that's pretty much saying pretty much doing a loop of like 1,000 or whatever, and every time it runs, I mean, you could drop it down to like 50, right? But every time it runs, it should be able to find that that span, that when you double click on it, that the UUID turns like the background turns green or whatever, right? So we use Docker to get that set up, and this is why I like these challenges, right? Because I believe that Docker is so important for our progression, and it's actually pretty quick to get started with. Like you don't, and that's the thing. Like I don't think you need to know every single thing about uh a software or a tool to get started in it. As you get started, you'll continue to learn more and you go from there. You don't need to know everything about it. You just got to get started, all right? And as you go, you learn more, you do more, all right? So here we go. So we already did this, right? But I'm just gonna go through it, right? So we clone the repo and we go into the directory of that repo. And now we have our first Docker action, right? We're building a Docker image on our computer, right? And then we are going to run that container on our local machine. We're going to run it on port 8080, while on the actual container, it's running on port 80, right? So you're mapping port 8080 to on your computer to port 80 on the container, all right? And we're saying start up the my web UI challenge, right? Um, and then so now you access it by you going to localhost 8080 in your web browser, and now you have the challenge. And Don, the evil person that Don is, wishes us the best of luck. So let's get to it then. Why don't we? All right, here we go. All right, so what I'm going to do, we are going to swing back over. And by the way, do you see how do you see that my see my circle and stuff is all back to normal? It was I was so as a Q engineer, right? I really was like, I'm just gonna shut down the whole show once I saw like my circles and stuff were all messed up like that, and I just like I couldn't just like fix it on the spot because I had to investigate to find out what was wrong. I just wanted to shut down the whole show, but we didn't do that. We said, all right, we're gonna push through because me spending the time with you to give you the information was way more important than how I was feeling about my terrible circles. All right. So it is what it is, but let's get into it. All right. So I am going to swoop back over to the other screen. That's our other screen. All right. And and so we have WebStorm open, not PyCharm today. We're using WebStorm. We're gonna do some JavaScript. And this is like from you can see this is from the project, the Cypress project that we're working on last last Thursday night. So I would definitely recommend you tuning into the Cypress project this coming Thursday. But we're gonna close that out, and we are going to do a new project. Let's do new project, and I'm gonna name this the Chaos Camp Challenges. And we're gonna swing that back over here. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm going to use the terminal in here, and we are going to. So let's start up the mm, let's try that. All right, that's good right there. Perfect. All right, cool. So good. I like it there. Um, and what we're gonna do, we are going to start up using Docker. So what command do we need so that we can see what images we have running? Or not images. Well, to see what containers we have running, it's Docker PS, right? And right now we only have container running, but we need to get started our Docker image. And after I get the Docker image started, then I'm going to start our timer for 30 minutes where we'll work on the challenge, and then we will get into our Terraform stuff. All right. So what do we need for to see all the images, all the containers that we have, right? Docker PS dash A. And then that's going to give us a long list of containers. However, let me see if I do my Linux skills are not the best, right? So what I'm going to do is this thing is kind of blocking it. Hold on, let me make it a little bit smaller. There we go. So we are going to use, let me move it a little bit up. All right, perfect. So what we're going to use is Docker. Yes, yeah, my Linux command line stuff is not the best, but I'm gonna do grep and then I'm gonna do automation. Nothing. Let's see, web. So here we are. So we are going to start up. We're gonna start this one up. Chaos Camp Web. So this is the name of it. The reason that it's like showing all out of whack is because I'm zoomed in a lot. But we want to start up the container named Chaos Camp Web UI Automation Challenge. So how we're gonna start it up? We are going to copy this over. Copy. We're gonna go down here and we're going to do a Docker start. And after you do Docker start, you put in the name of the image of the container that you want to start. And now it's started. So now if we go to localhost 8080 and we have our challenge. When you double click, you see the background turn green, the text turns white, and then when you refresh, so this looks like it should be super easy, right? However, the evil person that Don is, when you look at here, right? One, it has all this stupid shadow root stuff, right? Shadow DOM. But then when you refresh the page, it all changes again. All right. So what we're going to do, we are going to use Cypress for this. All right. So let's go back over here. And I do not recall. How do we start up Cypress? So let me pull up Cypress. IO. And we did this like, and here's the beauty about this, right? You don't have to memorize how to start up Cypress, right? Because that's why there's documentation. So if we go to and you'll have a quick overview of what we did last Thursday, right? We went over here, went to getting started, installing Cypress, and your project path. So we're gonna go. So we're pretty much going to do. We're inside of our folder. We're gonna do npm install cypress -- save dev to make it only available in the development environment, and we are going to go from there. Right. So I'm just gonna copy this. Well, I'll type it in. Right. So here we are, and we're gonna switch monitors, and I'm just gonna type it in npm install cypress -- save dev. All right. Or actually, no, we need npm init first. Let's do that. I think we gotta do npm init first. Yep. Make sure you run npm init. So npm init, and we are going to do package name. That's cool. Version. That's cool. Description. Taking on done stupid challenge. Right. And that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right, and that is okay. All right, cool. So now we are going to do npm install cypress -- save dev. And now it's installing Cypress. And while it's doing that, we are going to crack open our drink for today. Today I am drinking Slate Mocha Latte, which is ultra filtered milk and coffee, lactose free energy. And the flavor is, like I said, mocha latte. Okay, cool. All right, so Cypress is installing, and I'm gonna put the clock up, but I will start the clock once we get started attacking our little challenge. And I can see that the internet is playing with me, but like I said, I had a trick up my sleeve, and we are still connected. I really apologize if you get some buffering from time to time, but there's something about Sundays. I don't know. There is something about Sundays where I don't know if it's all the sports that are happening today or what, right? But something about Sundays where around this time, the stream, like the upload speed drops down drastically. And what happens is when the upload speed drops, um the streaming software can't connect to YouTube, and then it'll cut off. But there's ways around it, and I'm working on that today. I'm trying that out today. So far, it seems that we're doing all right. We do not have that many drop frames, so and the internet seems to be holding up pretty well outside of those drop zones. So let's get to it. All right. So here we are. We have Cypress installed, and we are going to we're gonna get started in it. So you are getting a quick little flashback about what we did last week, right? So we're gonna do what we did last Thursday, and we're gonna continue doing this Thursday, right? So we're gonna use we're gonna use what are we using? npx cypress open or npm run cypress open. Well, I don't know. I don't remember which one we did, but we're gonna try it anyways, all right? So let's go here. We're gonna get Cypress open, and we're gonna do npx Cypress open. Let me see if that works. And it works. So I will bring this onto the screen right here. And so this is our Cypress dashboard for Chaos Camp challenges, and we are gonna do this, and we are going to do that. Chrome. Let me move this over here. So this is like what Cypress opens for our Chaos Camp challenges. And now we will get into the challenge, right? So let's go with it. So let's go to before we go to that, we're gonna go here. We've added the following files. Okay. End. All right, so let's do it. Right. So we are gonna go over to here. And we are going to put our 30 minutes up on the clock. All right. So let's put on a little bit of adventurous music while we do this. And if there are any questions, put in the chat, and I will get to it after our challenge. So where's our music? Let's go with a little bit of intrigue. And if it's too loud, let me know, and I will lower the volume. But I think we are in a good spot. All right, so let's go to our WebStorm. Let's get to work. Okay, so I'm going to close that down, and we're gonna go to and we're gonna do a new folder called Chaos Camp, and we're gonna do a new JavaScript file called, what is this called? We're gonna call it web automation UI. All right, so now we need, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up another, because like I said, JavaScript is not my thing. All right, so we're going to open up this to-do list, and we're going to use it as a reference, right? We are going to use it as a reference. All right, so there goes our to-do. And this is exactly what I did on, and this is exactly what I did on Thursday to get familiar with Cypress. I didn't have to be a JavaScript expert to be able to use it. I used their reference, and then I created my own. What we did was we went through the Lego website and we added an item to the, we found an item, added it to the cart, and we went all the way up to the checkout login spot, right? And that's how you learn, right? That is how you learn. A lot of time people will just they just want to spend forever reading the books, watching the videos. You know, maybe they'll take a test here or there. People love to take tests, love to get certifications, but when it comes to actually doing getting their hands dirty, their hands are soft. Hands are soft like a baby's bottom. All right, so we're gonna call this Chaos Camp Web UI Automation Challenge, and we're going to do a lambda, and before each is to so before each, what it does is what happens before every test is executed. It's the same way if you're familiar with Java and test in G, there's like before method, before test, before class, and those will be executed before the corresponding part of the test, right? So before each is going to happen before each test. Okay, so what we want to happen before each test, as they have in there, we're going to use sci.visit, and we're going to do http://localhost dot 8080, right? So that should open up the browser, and we should get the web UI automation challenge. So what we're going to do, we are going to swoop back over to the browser to make sure that works as it should. So let's see here, specs. See if we have our chaos camp in there. We do not. Let's see. Oh, I don't have any tests in there. That's why. So, well, I'm assuming that's why. I can't be sure that's why, but let's add a test in there. It. So, move that. Cool. All right, so now we are going to, so we're on this screen. Let's add a test. So let's say it the background of the UUID turns green. Sure. And we're going to do a lambda. I'm still trying to get more familiar with lambdas, to be honest with you. Like I use them from time to time, but I still don't really understand them that well. From my understanding, it's like a methodless method or something like that. I don't know. I'm a little confused with lambdas. I might have to check in with Don to get a better understanding of the lambdas. But all right, so we have here, and we're going to say, well, let's see if it shows up at least. So it doesn't show up yet. Why not? Not yet. All right, let's go with that. And let me see. Ah, I know why. The file name is named incorrectly. It needs to be named. .sci. All right, now it should show up in there. So, yep. Soon as, watch this. I'm gonna show you this, right? So I'm going to rename it back to without the .sci. Whatever, maybe. All right, so watch this. Right? So if we go here. So right now I'm filtered for CHA, right? For chaos. Watch when I rename this file. What happens? Boom, it's already there, right? So take it as a public service announcement, right?
Message.
Make sure you always include the .cy in the file in the file name of your Cypress test. All right. I just had to learn that the hard way, so here we go. So if I click on this, it should load the yep, there it goes. It loads the web UI challenge, and then it's failing here because we didn't do anything significant here, right? So let's go back. All right, so what we want to do is, actually, we're gonna stick here for a second. We want to do some quick research on let's go to access shadow DOM via Cypress, right? And ooh, look at that. There is a shadow thingy. See what this does. So traverse into shadow DOM of an element, shadow selector, so correct usage, get .shadow host .shadow. And shadow yields a new DOM element it found. So shadow requires being chained off a command that yields a DOM element that is a shadow host, i.e. has shadow root directly attached to it. Shadow will automatically retry until the element exists in the DOM. Shadow will automatically retry until the element hosts a shadow root. Shadow will automatically retry until all change assertions have passed. Well, There is no time like the present. Let's give it a try. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be taking a look at this over here. And then I'm going to implement it on my end. All right. So let's go back to this one. Actually, no, before we do that, let's go back to go to here. So remember, this is what we're trying to capture. All right. So I'm going to have this here. And now we are going to go. So you see how like there's so many different shadow root levels here. And then there's the idea of roots. We're gonna figure it out. All right. So let's go to back over here. And we're gonna do that. So we're gonna do shadow.get div root dot shadow, and then we're gonna do dot find, and I don't really think we need this to do at the moment anymore. Let's get rid of that so you can have a better view. And we are going to do so. If we go here, this element is inside of span. Let's try that. And I'm gonna do this. So we have get div root shadow dot find selector inside a span, and I'm going to look for real quick. Double click with Cypress. Oh, that's simple enough. So just dot dbl click. Okay, let's see what happens. So we're gonna go ahead. It is actually a lot easier than Selenium, to be honest. Because if you want to double click with Selenium, you have to like import actions and stuff like that, and it just becomes a pain in the. All right, so put that out, and let's go to. So it already reran it. So we have here get root shadow timed out, expected subject to host a shadow, but never found. So what happens is, if we go to here, what happens is the shadow does not always, because you can have like here and then there's a div here, right? But then it's so finicky where it can. All right, so let's look for Cypress shadow DOM. Let's read the documentation just a little bit more. But you see, and this is the beauty of the engineering mindset, because a lot of times like we can have it where we just totally quit and give up on I've been working on the challenge for like 4 weeks now, right? Here and there, but the thing is, it's important that you continue to try different things, push your mind to try to figure out what's going on. I don't give up. You know. So let's. So what we're gonna search for is Cypress multiple shadow. Handling multiple shadow element in Cypress. Let's see what Stack Overflow, our good friend, has to say. So Cypress get shadow find. Well.
They ain't believing us.
Let's see how true this is. So go to cypress.json and write. Make sure you that all you get and find queries automatically go to shadow DOM without explicitly mentioning it. Include shadow DOM as true, and then so let's see what's going on here. Where is my Cypress? .json. Okay, so let's see here. Let's go to where to store Cypress.json. Configuration. This guide is for Cypress Plus and the new Java configuration file. Reading older version. Okay, so we need in our configuration file, we need to do, and we're gonna open this up, and we're going to say E2E. So we're going to say here we're going to put include shadow DOM. Sure. Okay. And if we have that, then when we're in our code, we should not even need this. We should just go to based on what this was saying. Find. So if we do this, we just take out this right here. take that out right there. Find, span, double click. Let's see what happens now. Go here. Oh, snap. It, like, because every time I'm making changes over here, like inside of the editor, it's rerunning it, right? So if we go here and we go here, right? And we go, let's do it again. Right? How you like them apples, Mr. Don? All right? How you like that?
They ain't believing us.
We the best.
Now, what I want to do is we have 7 minutes left of this challenge, and Don. Okay, so now we need to do our assertion, right? So let's do this. Let's do assertion, and we are. Okay, so we're gonna go. So we see it should say like should have blah 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 blah. All right, so we're gonna do here. So side get div root dot find span should, let's go to the next line, should have dot attribute maybe, and then let's look at the code real quick. So looking at the code real quick, right? It should have an attribute of the style background color. So let's see how we do that, right? So Cypress element should have attribute style. Let's do this one first real quick to see. Should style this page. I'm trying to see how do you get the element style? Okay, we can do that. So expect to have what's the style? So let's see here. Should Cypress should have style. Now, a very important skill that you learn is how to properly Google. right? Like being able to have the right type of Google searches. Oh, okay. So if we use this one, should have attribute. Okay, so let's try that. All right, so here, and then let's go here, and then we're gonna do style, and then we're going to do value style match. Okay, cool. Now I see where we're going here. See, when you don't know you're not familiar with JavaScript or the framework and everything like that, it can get a bit tricky, but nonetheless, here we are. Let's paste that in there. And let's go back to our Cypress window. And we're going to go. And look at that. Before I even get to the window, it's already doing the assertion, right? So let's go here and let's go boom, boom, boom. All right, so now last thing that we need is how to do a loop in JavaScript. Sounds very basic, huh? How to do a loop in JavaScript, right? So I'm gonna copy this right here. And we're gonna go. And we're gonna go here. We're gonna paste that in there. And we're going to say, copy that right there. That, paste that bad boy right here. And we're going to say I is less than 100. So what it's saying, for I is equal to 0, while I is less than 100, we're going to, on each loop, we're going to increment I by 1, and we're going to, let's copy this as well. Side.visit. So what it's going to do is going to go to this page, right? And then it's going to find the root and find the span in it, double click on it, and then it's going to do the find it again, and it's going to make sure that it has the background color of green and the color of white while it's so all right. So now if we go back to our Cypress,
We the best.
They ain't believing us.
Let's get it.
look at that. Look at that go. Look at that bad boy go. If Stephanie was here, she would say nothing but green. And as time runs out, we win. We win. All right? How you like them apples? And you know what? Just for fun and game, we are going to say here, output text. Look at that. You know what? Perfect timing. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, like the video, share the video, because we are successful. We defeated the evil man alone. And his chaos camp just in the nick of time. And I'm going to quickly send Don a text message right now, right? I'm gonna reach out to him on Slack. And I'm going to tell him that whatever he's doing at this moment, but I defeated you. All right, cool. So Don knows now that I defeated him, and I'm going to go right back in here as well. So let me see. We're gonna do one quick thing. So it's amazing, right, that we were working on this so long during with like Selenium and Python and like in 30 minutes, right? We're able to get it done in Cypress. So I must take my hat off to Cypress again. You know, hat tip to Cypress that it was able to get us to get this thing done. So let's say what I want to say. Or let's say Cypress log. So we're going to say right here that side.log tech coach Ralph has successfully defeated Don and his chaos. Yeah. This merry-go-round. And just for fun and games, we're gonna run it one more time, just so that can log that message. And I can see the internet is fighting with me today, but I am still winning. And I apologize if you're getting any buffering on your end, but I would rather have some buffering than not have a show at all today, because I think it's so important that we go through Terraform and that we do these automation challenges, because that is how you level up in your career, level up in your knowledge, level up in your skills and your training. Because while we have all these other people doing whatever it is that they're doing today, we are here, we are working, we are winning. We do not sleep, we do not take breaks. We just go out there and win. And we have that little log message right here that says that Tech Coach Ralph has successfully defeated Don and his chaos camp this merry-go-round.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Yes, we are. We are addicted to winning.
We the best.
All right, let's go back to full screen. All right, we're back. Right, let me turn this timer off for now, and we I can now sleep at night. Right, I had nightmares about this challenge, I'm going to admit. Right, and I am happy that it is out of my hair for good. I mean, now that you've seen how to defeat this challenge, we're going to come out with some new challenges. Don asked me to create some challenges, and I'm working on that. They're going to be more those challenges that I'm working on, they're going to be more skill development challenges, like for you to think critically, and like how you build your, like, I'll give an example. Right, one example will be like, all right, so let's use Lego for example. Right, Lego, not Legos. I found Cafe Corner corrected me in her chat the other day. You know, fair enough. Right, but let's say you take that and we say, all right, we want to add the feature at checkout for a firm, right, where you can do buy now, pay later. And so we need to write test scenario, test cases, test plans around it. And so that'll be the challenge. But as well, we want you to document that inside of a test case management system. Right? So go ahead and install a test case management system of your choice and log these test scenarios, test cases, and everything. And then create some defects around it, right? So that's an example of a challenge that I'll be putting together for Chaos Camp, and where that you can level up your testing skills, your QA skills, because that is the type of situation. Like a lot of times, a lot of boot camps and stuff like that, they just use these existing sites and stuff like that, where you just find these pre-made defects, just so you can get some practice. However, the true practice is going to come where you're working on a team and you are adding a new feature, or you're building a feature, you're building an application from scratch, right? Like in the Patreon, I'm taking the Tech Barbarians through building an application from scratch. So they're going through the Scrum process. We have our Scrum nights where we do our sprint review, sprint retrospective, and planning to start up the next sprint, right? And then they work and they have to do their stand-ups and all of that stuff, so they can have that mindset. So once they get into the job, they are like ready to go. They're getting familiar with Jira, making tons of mistakes using Jira, but they're getting familiar with it, getting familiar with the Scrum process. Or having stories assigned to you, how to work through them, and all of that stuff, right? So, and that's the spirit of this challenge, to get you ready for what you're going to be facing on the job. It's not like you're just inside of this some boot camp, and it's stuff that it's almost just about unrealistic, So that's what we're working on. Chaos Camp, Tech Coach Ralph, Don the Man, Evil Man Johnson, right? That's what we're working on, right? So check it out, and we will go from there. But for now, we are done. I said we are done with this web UI automation challenge. Sorry, Selenium, but Cypress 1, Selenium 0. All right, we're moving on to Terraform. All right, so let me get my screens set up. And we are, did not want to do that. Let me see. Okay, it shut it down. Cool. All right. So we are going to. All right. So let me close down Cypress stuff. Close down Docker. We don't need Docker anymore. Let me stop the container though. All right, so Docker has been stopped. Let's exit Docker because we don't need it anymore. And let me open up our PyCharm so we can get into Terraform. And what we'll do, because we haven't looked at Terraform in a while, we will revisit that. But if you are new to the channel and you like what you're seeing, you like the information that you're getting, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that you can know whenever that we go live and when we release content, because throughout the week we release clips from our Q&A show, because sometimes you just might not be able to sit through a 2.5 hour session of these questions, right? And you might just need like one question, right? So if you don't have the time to sit through the whole live show, I make it very convenient by cutting up each question and I release it throughout the week. It drops at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, one question a day, and I answer those questions for you and try to help you to get your technical questions answered. And mainly right now I focus on QA because that's what I'm familiar with. But if you ask me a different question, I will be more than happy to answer that for you. Oh my God, I'm going to show you what I have up on the screen real quick before we move forward. So real quick, when I was messing with the challenge from Chaos Camp, we are going to close that one out, right? So. And I also recommend that rock, paper, scissors challenge. We did a code review for the one that Stephanie did the other day. And it's like if you need to get familiar with APIs, right? Like I'll tell you this, API testing is one of the most important things you can learn right now, because that layer of testing is instrumental to having a successful software, right? So I would say, if you want to get more familiar with API testing, check out the rock paper scissors challenge. I'll do my best to link it in the description. If you do not see it linked there, leave me a comment for the rock paper scissors challenge, and I will make sure that I send it to you, because that is going to give you some amazing experience with API testing. All right, so let's keep going. So let me go ahead and open up the Terraform stuff. And we're gonna go to this window. And let me close out some stuff over here that we no longer need. It's amazing, the loop that we did in Java looks exactly, it's pretty much identical to, or the loop that we did in JavaScript when we were doing the 100 test is identical to, or almost identical to, how we do it in Java. I just don't use JavaScript enough to remember the syntax like that. All right, let's close that off, and we are going to go to here. I have no idea if it's working on LinkedIn or not, but it is what it is. Let's see here. I don't know. Maybe not. We will build the plane as we fly it, which sounds extremely dangerous, but you know, it is what it is. So let's go to, all right, so on one screen, what do I want on my other screen? I don't know yet. I'm not exactly sure yet what I want on my other screen, but let's get going. So, like I said, we are going to, let me open up my Notion. All right, here we go. So we are going through Terraform stuff, outputting attributes, and the remote state. So let's find out real quick, what is the Terraform remote state? Pull that up. So let's take a look at that. With remote state, Terraform writes the state data to a remote data store, which can then be shared between all members of a team. Terraform supports storing state in Terraform Cloud, HashiCorp Console, Amazon S3, Azure Blob Storage, Google Cloud Storage, Alibaba Cloud OSS, and more. Okay, so we will see. We'll try to get there, right? But so let's go to, let's put our 20 minutes on the clock.
It's time to do.
All right, and let me turn off that intriguing background music, and we are good to go. All right, so let's see here. Let's go with, so let's go to, right. So this is our instance script, right? So what we did last time, right? Like I said, we let me see. Let me go here and make sure I do not share any data that should not be shared. All right. So var version provider instance tmp script. Oh, okay. I know why. I'm looking at the wrong project. That's why. Where is my project? All right, here we go. So, all right, here we go. So, now I'll make sure I'm not sharing any private information. Cool. Cool. We don't need this one. We don't need that. All right, cool. So here we are. So here's what we did last time, right? We have our resource .tf file. What the resource file does, it will pretty much create the resources in the location that you need, right? So in AWS, it's going to create the resources. So what we're saying is the provider that we're going to be using for this is AWS, and then we're setting the AWS region, and we are saying, and in another file, which in this vars.tf file, which I have it ignored, not to be sent to the like when we push it to Git, right? That because that file has our AWS keys in there, so we're not sharing that, right? But I'm saying get the AWS key from the var file, right? From the var.tf file, get the secret key from that as well, and get the region from that as well, right? And then we have AWS region is type string, and then here we're saying that the AMIs, like an AMI is like the image that we're going to be using on AWS, and that's the inside of US East 1. This is the AMI ID that we want to use, right? So that's that, and then let's go into instance. We're saying inside of instance, we are going to be doing AWS key pair that we created, and then path to the public key. And we're going to say AWS instance TCR example, and it's going to be a T2 micro. And we are going to do the key pair, key name, and now we're going to say to provision. So what to do on the server, right? We're going to be running this script that I created, EC2 setup, and it's going to store it in a folder called in the temp directory EC2-setup. And we can take a look at the script after we go through here. And we're going to say remote exec. We're going to say once you go into the server, we are going to change the permissions on the file to this one. Not 100% sure what that one means. We'd have to look it up. And this is one of the reasons that I also do want to get better with Linux. There's some very good resources to do that on YouTube. So I would definitely recommend checking. Like content creators like Keep It Techie, like and women in Linux as well. They are some Linux experts, and you can like definitely learn a lot from them as well. But so I'm gonna get better with Linux, but there's so many things to do, and there are you just have to allocate your time wisely and see where you go from there, right? So we have so we're changing the permissions on this, and then we are going to run this command, whatever that one means, right? To on that file, and then we're going to execute the file. And let's take a look at what's inside of the file, right? We have inside here, what it's doing is it's going to do a sudo yum update on the instance, on the EC2 instance. And then it's going to search for Docker. It's going to get the Docker info. It's going to install Docker. Why is there R that's highlighted here? Going to install Docker. It's going to add the Docker, like add the user EC2 dash user to be able to do stuff with Docker, pretty much, right? And then we are going to install Python pip and install Docker Compose. And so pretty much the way that this script was created, I followed to install Docker and Docker Compose on an EC2 instance. I had to follow these steps. So what I did was I took these steps from that guide that we had, and I put them into this script so that we can use it when we're setting up our EC2 instance through Terraform. So this one is enabling the Docker service, and then this one is so when the MI boots, it's going to enable Docker, and then here to start Docker now, and then here is going to run um the Selenium grid, right? In detached mode and interactive mode as well. So, and we did that last time, but I wanted to give you a quick recap of where we were. So now what we want to do is we want to install Git, right? So let's see here. Cool. Let's see. Now we are here. So let's do this. I'm just gonna write in the next steps. Maybe I should do this before. So let's do install Git, right? And I'm going to. I don't remember even which project I plan to do this on, but we'll find one. Maybe I can. I'll look at one of the past projects that we did, or past automations, so that we can run it that way, right? So we have that install Git, and let me see what was on our agenda to do today. So we are going to install Git, and then we're going to pull in the Git repo. And then we are going to install requirements.txt. Yeah, probably should have. Let me do this real quick. Just so we can say added, should have just did a new branch, but whatever. Added on live stream 10/29/2023. All right, cool. So here we go. And I will do and live stream 10/29/2023. All right, cool. So we'll have whatever we did in here so that we can keep it separate. But next time I'll just create a new branch and stuff like that. Or manage it through like the commit and stuff. So, and let's make this a little bigger, why don't we? How do we make it bigger? U shift control dot. Try that. So make that a little bit bigger so you can see it better. So now we are going to find out how do we install Git, or better yet, let's look for, or even do that. Do AWS AMI include Git? Let me see what is included in AMI. or you just do this. How to install Git on AWS EC2 Linux. Yeah, so this is the part that we're bypassing, right? We're bypassing having to do this manually, going into all that, right? We want to, so there we go, sudo yum install Git, right? So we're gonna do here, we're gonna drop that in there. And so we got that. Gonna drop that in there, right? Sudo yum install Git. All right. And then let me see. We do not need to set up a local repository for Git. All right. So here we will do, so let's do mkdir and let's say tech coach Ralph. Let's do it like that, right? So we're gonna do a folder, tech coach Ralph, and we are going to do, so we need to find a project, right? So let me go find a project real quick that we will use. Let's see. Which one uses the grid? See what's in here. Let's see what's in here. I think I have two potential issues. All right, so we need a project that uses the grid, and we need a, all right, so we'll do that, right? So I'm going to, so what we'll do, we'll take a project. What I'll do, I'll take the Uber Eats project, and we will we'll modify it to be able to run on the grid, and then we will push that up, and then we will we'll run it that way, right? So that's gonna be the plan. That is our plan. Okay. Let's see here. All right, so here we are. So we'll do let's look up real quick. So we're done with this, right? So now we can do pip install requirements txt command, right? Right. So this is the command, right? Just wanna make sure we get it right. So pip install -r requirements.txt. So we're going to do, so remember, let's put that in here, right? But we are going, oh, so I'm gonna put this in here, but we still need to do this, right? So let's do cd tech coach Ralph, and then we're going to, so put in some additional comments, right? Create directory to clone git repo into, right? And then go into the directory and clone the directory, right? So now I'm gonna go to GitHub. And let's look for the href. Guess the Selenium wire would work. Let me see. Let's look at the M3U8 parser live stream, right? That's what we have in there. So test cases, flow grappling. So this is using this one. Do we have another branch though? Selenium. Oh, Selenium grid integration. Let's look at that one. So it has remote 000. But this one should work, right? So what we're gonna do, we are going to say, let's go to the top of this repo. We're going to say clone. This is public. And if you want to clone this onto your machine and play around with this one, by all means, go ahead. It is yours to do so. So let's go into, I would say clone the directory. So, oops. Git clone. And we're going to clone this. And then we are going to go into the M3U8 parser live stream directory. So cd M3U8 parser live stream. So I am going to move, because you kind of need the Selenium grid running before you can actually run this stuff. So I'm going to move it above here, right? It's opening up in interactive mode, in detached mode. So you should still have control of your EC2 instance of your terminal, right? I don't know if that would even matter in this case, but let's figure it out. So here we are. We're going to install the requirements. I don't even know if I have requirements in there. Do we? Oh yeah, we do have requirements in there. Let me see what those requirements are. So requirements are Selenium Wire, M3U8, WebDriver Manager, and requests. All right, perfect. That is perfect. Exactly what we need. So we're going to go into that folder, right? Go into the folder. We are going to, so we clone, go into the folder, install the requirements, and then we need to start it up. Okay, so and then we would say, so now I don't know if I actually need sudo in front of all these commands. You know what I mean? Guess it wouldn't hurt, right? Just put it just in case. Well, no, I'm not going to put it because we will troubleshoot as the time comes. So let's say run Selenium tests. And to do that, we would be running, how would we run it? So let's do it this way, right? I'm just going to open it up.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
It is our break time. So let's go to full screen. Whew. We are on a roll today, having some fun. We are getting a lot done, and I am so happy. Because I can see that I've had some drop frames. I've had the internet dip in and out, but we are doing good right now on our bit rate. We are up high. So I am happy I figured this out, that we did not have to let these little minor things have to cancel our wonderful, wonderful Sunday afternoon streaming sessions, right? So let's keep going. All right. Let's take our break where we're going to put 5 minutes on the clock and rest a little bit. Get some water. Yeah, we're doing pretty good at this, right? And once we run it, we're going to see what happens and go from there. But let me go into LinkedIn. Let's see what type of jobs there are around. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. I want to keep looking for QA engineer jobs using Cypress actually. Like I said, like honestly, I'm I could easily go into my resume right now and add Cypress to it because it's not complicated and it's cool. It's not complicated, and you can easily you learn a little, and if you apply, like if you have an interview for a job that's using Cypress instead of Selenium, just ramp up on Cypress. Get more familiar with it, but that exposure is the key, right? That exposure is the key. So let's look for some jobs real quick. Let's go to screen right here. And let's see. So we are looking for, let's see what this one is. So this one is in Winter Park. Oh, Winter Park, Florida. Over 100. There are not that. Well, it's Orlando. So yeah, maybe there are, but I take that back. So, so this one is for engineer 2 test automation. Uh, do, 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 do. Bachelor's degree, building frameworks, experience with cloud platforms, Azure, good API testing experience. I tell you guys, like this API thing is important. Experience with TDD, BDD, testing framework, just React testing library, and eventually we're going to. It's probably going to be on Thursday nights, but I got a course for TDD with like Jest and Mocha and stuff like that. So how to do TDD with web development and React and stuff, because I'm going to be working on some projects with that, and I'm a big fan of TDD. So we're going to be implementing it that way. So that's probably going to be on Thursday nights, and we'll keep our Sundays focused on DevOps type stuff. But yeah, so just stick around for that. Excellent knowledge of relational databases, SQL. There are more years of professional experience participating in a Scrum development environment. 5 years or more in QA engineer. Mm, prior experience with testing financial markets, trading systems, or or order management systems. This is a pretty cool job. But let me look for some jobs. Let me look for QA engineer, and let's look for in Washington, DC, Baltimore area. Let's see. Looking for one of my tech barbarians to see what's out there. So, test engineer. Let's look for on-site and hybrid. I hear a big problem with that area, the DMV area, is that so many of these positions they want you to have a security clearance, right? Um, it's just that area, There a lot of government contracts over there. So let's see. Quality assurance. So test engineer. If it has security clearance, I'm just going to ignore it. Public trust, ability to obtain. So that sounds like a security clearance. At least 12 to 18 years of experience. Certifications, active PMP. I thought this was test engineer. All right, so let's move on. All right, that's weird. So, Alaka Foundation family of companies must have 2 years experience in quality management, including 2 years experience in MS programs. Must have expert knowledge. Must be able to interact with diverse clientele. High level military. Prior experience supporting the DoD or federal government programs is a plus. Must have a DoD secret clearance or able to obtain. Jeez. Shift is Sunday to Wednesday, 5 p.m. to
Get a move on. Back to
8:30
work. Chop,
a.m.
chop. Let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work. Back to work. Back to work.
Quality assurance specialist. This is a different type of quality assurance apparently, because this is the ones for like the healthcare professions and stuff like that. Let me see. All right, let's keep going. Quality assurance engineer, REI systems. 5 years of experience with software or web application testing. See, and another thing, right? Like, there's no real such thing as entry level anymore, right? Because the influx in these fast paced learning things, right? When now you have all these people who don't have any experience or applying, and it's so much to choose from, then you can demand more. And now like entry level is like 3 to 5 years of experience, because and I see like, which I am gonna do a kind of conversation about this, right? I'll see these posts on my favorite, my new favorite social media platform now, right? LinkedIn, where they're talking about this, right? They'll say, "Oh, entry level should mean 0 years of experience and all of that," right? But if you have thousands of people who have 0 years of experience, and you have 100 jobs to fill that might be entry level, who do you pick, right? Do you pick? Do you flip a coin and pick someone from that um 0 years from out of the 1,000 people, or do you look at somebody who has maybe 1 year of experience, 2 years of experience, who's maybe done an internship, who maybe have done some freelancing work in the field? How do you choose, right? So it's like when I see these posts, I'm like, it's always so one-sided, and narrow-sided as well, right? It's one-sided and narrow-sided, from my perspective, but who am I? Um, so yeah, it's just, I don't know, whatever. Let's get back to work. We don't have time for this. All right, so here we are. All right, let me actually, before I do that, let me go and open the project that we are going to be working on. Mm, let me see. Let me see. Where are you? There we go. All right. So, mm, all right. Here we go. So this is gonna be the project, right? But all this stuff. We are going. Okay, so let's change our branch to this one. Yeah. Git status, git commit. All right, so we're gonna say m updates made to support Airflow. Right. So this is when we're working on an Airflow project to try to test out Selenium Wire with Airflow, which we are going to return to at some point. But
Let's go! Let's go!
we will return to at some point. But the problem was that the what we were trying to accomplish, the Docker compose file was just too much, that we had too much to sift through. So I'm working on just getting a bare bone version of the Airflow, of what we need to get this to work, so we can just go straight to the Selenium Wire part. So anyways, I just wanted to give a quick little update on that. But let's go here, and now we can go out and check out our Let me push this. That. Don't need to do that. So let's go here. Oops. What is this? All right, we can close this one down. And we will go to this one, that one. Check it out. And let me clear this out. All right, cool. So we are here. All right. So now so we're gonna do ls. So Python test flow. I want to see if I do that. All right, cool. So all I have to do is here. So Python test flow grappling. So now we will go into here and we will go. So we don't need this one actually right now. So we go into here and we're going to go to cd test cases. Or we can just do, we don't have to go to cd. We can do Python and we will do test cases and we will do test underscore flow graph underscore m3u8 dot py, right? So let's read through this one more time, right? We are going, so this is what we're going to do. This is our plan of attack, all right? So follow along carefully.
Message.
We're going to start up the, let's start from the beginning, right? We're going to be using AWS as a resource. We're passing in the access key, which is the AWS access key, the secret key, which is the AWS secret key, the region, which is AWS region. And we're saying the AMI that we're going to be using is this AMI right here in US East 1, right? And we are saying over here, the AWS key pair, right? This is the name of it, and we're passing a path to the public key. And we're going to say we're going to set up the resource of AWS instance, which is going to be named TCR example. And the AMI that's going to be used is the AMI that's in the resource, right? So var.ami, and then var.aws region, and the instance type is T2 micro, and the key name is aws.keypair TCR SSH key pair right here, and the key name, which is right here. And then we're saying we're going to provision. The provisioner is going to be a file, which our source file is scripts/ec2 setup, which is in this folder. The destination is going to be inside the /temp, the temp directory, and same file name ec2-setup.sh. And then provisioner is going to be a remote execution where we're going to do inline. We're going to do chmod to change the permissions to +x on that file, our ec2 setup file. So we're going to do this line that I don't remember what that means, but it's going to be applied to this file right here. If anybody knows what this, if anybody's a Linux person in the chat and you're familiar with this, go ahead and remind me what this is because I don't remember, but I know it should work, right? Then we're going to run the script sudo tmp ec2 setup, right? Now the question is, I don't remember how to set up the how to start this. Is it Terraform apply maybe? I don't know. Let's find out. Why don't we? So where is our notes? So here, introduction to Terraform. Let's see. We are doing let's see. See, when you don't use it on a regular basis, then you forget. So let's do a quick Google search. Terraform. Let me do a Terraform cheat sheet. So we go here and let's take a quick look at the Terraform cheat sheet. Terraform command line. Terraform minute to initialize. Terraform apply. Apply changes without being prompt. All right. So all right, cool. So we're gonna do Terraform. Let's do this real quick, right? Let's go through our different Terraform stuff, right? So we're gonna do Terraform plan and then we're gonna do Terraform apply. All right, so let's do so this plan is you didn't use out to save this plan, so Terraform can't guarantee to take exactly these actions if you run Terraform apply now. So we are going to do the Terraform plan. We're going to create and going to do an AWS instance using this AMI. This will be known afterwards. Get password data false. Instance type T2 micro. The key name TCR SSH key. Source destination check true. User data replace on change false. And this is the key pair stuff. The key pair will be created. Public key stuff. All right, so let's do our Terraform apply. Let's make this one bigger too, why don't we? Shift control. So, oops. Oh, that didn't work. Make it bigger. Let me see. View. Oh, oops. I'll do that. Trying to make that bigger, but for some reason that's not working. So whatever. Let's see. Whatever. All right. So let's do Terraform apply. Let's see what we get. It might take a minute, but let's go. Do you want to perform these actions? Yes. So our key pair is being created. And now it's creating our instance. Stuff is happening. I should open up AWS to see it happening at the same time, right? So let's do that. I'm going. Wow, this is. Oh, it already did a bunch of stuff already. Cool. All right, so it's connected. It's doing its thing. What I'm doing at the same time is I'm gonna go log into AWS so that you can actually see the instance get created, and then when we do a teardown, you can also see the teardown as well. So, shameless plug: this week's episode of the Bug Bite is going to be talking about the 23andMe security breach that happened. And just a heads up, right? Enable two-factor authentication wherever you're offered it, because it will save you a lot of headache. Because especially if you're a person to reuse passwords, which it's not good to reuse your passwords all over the place, especially on like sites that might have sensitive data and stuff like that. So I would say, but so enable two-factor authentication. Like right now when I'm logging into AWS, I had to use a Google Authenticator app in order to be able to finish logging in. Right. So stuff be happening on that front, and download a newer version of Selenium standalone latest. And what is that one right there? Is that okay? Yes. Which was that? So that was for. So I probably should have passed the flag of .y or dash y or just y, whatever it is, because this one is for Git, and darn it, that would be a problem. So let's copy this over because it's probably stuck at this point. Should have thought about that, but let's put y here for once we do it again. Yeah, it's probably stuck at this point, and not much you can do about it. But while that's going, it'll time out at some point. But what we can see here is inside of EC in AWS console. Let's go to EC2, and we have one instance running, and that instance does not have a name. Why? Okay, so let's look at this real quick. While this thing is doing, it's going to timeout. Let's look at why EC2 instance doesn't. Terraform EC2 does not appear. So that's not the case, right? Or let's say how to name EC2 instance with Terraform. How to create, so, let me see. How do you set, all right, so how do you set the instance name in Terraform? Set the instance name with a variable. So let's pull this up real quick. While we wait that to crash and burn. So set instance name with a variable instance name, description, default. In main TF, update the AWS instance resource block to use a new variable. The instance name variable block will default to its default value. So let me look at that real quick. Instance. So we're gonna do that. Let's go to variable AWS instance. Instance name and update the AWS instance resource block to the new variable. So let's do here. Okay, so whatever. We can just put in here tags equals name equals tag coach Ralph Terraform course. All right, whatever. Let's just go here. All right, let's go here. Terraform. All right. This thing is not timed out yet. Let me see. Let's see. I don't want to wait for it to time out. Canceling. It's gonna take a long time to time out. All right. I'm going to do what I do not want to do. I'm going to have to do a control C. Whenever I did a control C before, it's like annoying. But whatever. Let's just do it. So we are going to do C. All right. So we know what the problem is. We fixed it. Let's do interrupted. Please wait for Terraform to exit or data loss may occur. Let me see if the instance gets shut down. It does not. So let's try it. Let's see what happens if we do a Terraform. And you see how like one little thing, yes. See one little thing, right? So and that's like why we try things out, but like one little we got stuck here because we didn't have the dash Y, and now we got stuck. So now, all right, so cool. It looks like it's destroying the instance. So if we go here, it should not be here anymore once our destroy is done. So let's go wait for it to happen. But all right, so we have 2 resources destroyed, so we're good to go. So we can actually run the apply again because so before we do that, let's go make sure that things be gone. Things be gone. All right, so let's go and do this Terraform again. See how far we get on this one. And yes. All right, so it's creating our key. And I mean, it takes a minute, right, to do all this, but trust me, like if you've seen the videos of me setting it up, like I think when we first did Terraform, we did it manually, so we can we did the setup manually, so we could
Lunch break! Lunch break!
so we could go through the so we could set it up so we can write our script. So then and it took us like a good amount of time to go through it. And I had a video where we set this up as well. We installed Docker on EC2 instance. It can take some time, right? And especially if you have to do it upon multiple containers or multiple EC2 instances, right? So with this, with Terraform, I could easily set this up on like as many EC2 instances that I want, and we can set up the infrastructure like typically we wouldn't be putting on a particular script from Git on it, because I mean that's not how it normally works. I'm just using this as an example, but you could easily use Terraform to set up a whole infrastructure to run automated tests. Whether you're like if you're not using AWS device farm and you want to set up your own self-managed Selenium grid environment, right? You could easily do it that way, right? All right. So we got an error. And let's see, we're about to go to break, but let's see, we got an error, no such file, requirements dot, let's see. Because there's a space there, of course. All right, so let's do a Terraform destroy. And that's going to get destroyed, and we can run it again, and we can go on break while we run it, because we don't need to see all of those details, and we can look up for some more jobs in the process. All right. So let's see what we have going on LinkedIn right now. Nothing major. So we probably won't be getting to the last part where we wanted to do store the Terraform remote backend file in S3. But we can do that next week, and then we can add some additional things to do, right? Because the remote backend thing is pretty cool. It's like it's like all the users who are working on this will use the same backend configuration, so we can do that, and we don't want to and we can go more in depth into that, right? So let's just stick to this. What I'm going to do another Terraform apply, and then while it's doing that, we will go to break and look up for some jobs, and we'll come back and check on the status of this to see how far we get, and then we can go from there. All right. So I'm gonna do Terraform apply again. Our last time doing it. If that doesn't work, we'll pick it up next week. But in the meantime, while it is running, I'm gonna put a yes in here for it to start to kick off. And while it's doing its thing, we can see what's going on. Let's put our 5 minutes up on the clock for our break time and see what's going on. So, and can you believe that I have people, good guy, David, who are watching my timer, right? Leave my timer alone, right? As the great Will Smith said, leave my timer out of your mouth. All right. So shout out to Will Smith. Good guy, David, leave my timer out of your mouth.
I mean, all we do is win, man. You know that.
All right. So let's go back to LinkedIn. So here's a question, right? If you really, really want to have a particular type of job, right? Career, whatever the case may be. But in your area, let's say you live in, the DMV area, for instance, right? And all these places, they require clearances and stuff like that. It's not really that easy because let's say there's a job that doesn't require clearance, right? But the people around you, they have clearances. Who would the company be more likely to take, right? They're probably going to go for the clearance, even though they don't necessarily need it at the moment, but you never know, right? So with that being said, are you willing to change locations for the job, career, future that you want? right? Something to consider because um, why do we always feel that we're so bound to where we're at right now? Could be because you purchased a property and now you are trapped by the location of that property, the mortgage that you have, the rules that you've made. Who knows, right? But and that's one of the good things about remote work as well. But like we've seen, it is super super hard to get those remote positions nowadays. So there's so many things that we need to consider, so many things because um, mm, so many things we need to consider, right? So this Terraform thing just failed again. Let's see what's going on. Couldn't find what is the file name for that thing? Is it requirements or requirement? Requirements.txt. Did it pull in the repo? Let's see. All right, we'll get back to that after break, right? Let's focus. All right. So we have, let's see, quality assurance automated tester. So this one right here, see, um, for defense, civilian, national, it probably has some type of security clearance stuff, right? Even though it might not list it in particular. There, look at that. Mandatory selective service registrants that have not registered for selective service will be required to provide a selective service status information letter as part of their onboarding package, right? Clearance, public trust. This is, you know, these are the challenges that you're going to face with your location. Location plays a factor into hiring as well, right? If the location that you're in is not suitable for, look at that. Every single job that we've looked for in the DMV area in Maryland, it's about at least getting a public trust. I don't even know anything about clearances. That you would probably be much better suited to check out my friend Socks or to check out Tamika from Women in Linux about these clearance stuff because I don't know a thing about clearances. I just know that I don't have a clearance and all these jobs in this area, it's clearance, 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 right? You might as well just change your name to Clarence because all they want are clearances. So say I don't have a clearance, but my name is Clarence. Does that pass? I'm just looking at these, right? All of them.
Get a move on, back to work, chop chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work, back to work, back to work.
See, look at that. Active TS SCI security clearance. All of them. So it's something that you'll have to figure that out, right? Because I can give you the skills. Are you able to obtain the clearances? Because I'll tell you this: if you can get these clearances, then you're gonna have a lot more opportunity. While if you don't have it, you are limiting yourself drastically. In that area, if you're in the DMV area, you're probably gonna need to get some type of clearances. You know, this one. This one is some chemical type job. Oh, DAP. Isn't DAP the like they do like the silicone sealants and stuff like that, like when you're at Home Depot and they have all those stuff. But yeah, look at that. It's a mess out there in that area. I just randomly click on this one, test engineer, right? Applied insight. Must have active TS CSI with polygraph, right? You can randomly click on any of these things and you're going to like in that area. So the question is, are you going to be able to work in the field that you want in this area, or do you need to move to somewhere else? Um, Especially if you're entry level and like it might not, you might not be able to easily get a position that is remote. You know what I mean? Um, Something to consider. Because you can have every single one of these. Like, look at this, right? solid knowledge of software quality assurance with minimum of 3 years, experience with mobile, understanding cloud-based, all of these things. Let me see. This one does not mention, that one doesn't mention a security clearance, but let's see. That one doesn't mention security clearance. So, I mean, that's an option, but now what about all the people who don't have security clearances who would be applying for that same job? Makes the competition even harder. But even with this, right? So 3 years of experience with relevant commercial experience, back in testing, API database testing, understanding of cloud-based architecture and hands-on experience with AWS tools, Lambda, CloudWatch. Um, I could actually do this position myself, right? um, understanding of microservices, ability to communicate effectively with on-site and remote teams, all this stuff, right? Experience sets on automation, JavaScript or TypeScript is a plus. Well. I now am a Cypress expert, and I have dibbled and dabbled in Playwright. So I could easily apply for this job, but this job is located in Washington D.C., and I am not interested in one moving to Washington D.C. Or two going to another company. But if I was either of those or both of those, then this would be an opportunity for me. But it's not. So let's keep going. So before we get back to this code, just want to say, if you are in this area and you do you have two choices, right? If you're in the DMV area, right, you have two choices. Very simple. Get security clearances. I have no idea the difficulty of that or how easy it is to do that. Gotta reach out to someone with security clearances for that. But that's one option, or move, right? And these are all the things that when we're doing these career changes and career shifts and stuff like that, we have to do the research. We have to take all of these things into consideration, right? It's not just, oh, I want to do QA. Oh, I want to be a software engineer. Oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. It's all right. Now, what do I want to do? Am I able to do it? Right? Am I able to do it? Because will I have in my area? What is the demand? What do I have? Will I need to get some type of clearances? Will I need to get some type of certifications? What am I going to need to do to be able to do this? Or do I have to go to another location? All things to consider. It is what it is. All right. So let's we're gonna just finish up, see what we can get to. Not even gonna put the timer up. We're gonna just see what error that we got. So it couldn't open requirements file, no such file or directory, requirements.tx. Set cd into this folder. So let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. It is installed. Cloning M3. Oh, you know what it is? We have to do a checkout of that branch. That's what it is. So we're going to do right here. Checkout necessary branch. And then we're going to do git checkout. And then what is the name of the branch that we need? And we're going to do, that's what the problem is, because on the main branch it doesn't have that requirements file. So we're going to go here, git checkout, paste that, and now we should be good to go. Let's do a Terraform. Let's clear this out real quick. Terraform destroy. And yes. Destroying. Yeah. So I mean, you see like all the little little details that we're going through. Like I said, the the this part of it where like we're cloning the repo and stuff like that is not technically a part that you might have to like you'd go through when setting up Terraform. Like you might do it, but I probably would stop at like get like because let's say I wanted to have a so I could probably like create a grid, right? So let's say I have I could create a grid and then I could have another Terraform provisioning, maybe some Windows servers, maybe some Mac, some Linux, and then maybe install Firefox on those, and then I could register those grids or those EC2 nodes onto the hub of that main grid, and then we would be having up a whole our own Selenium grid with different um, stuff registered onto it, right? Anyways, so Terraform apply again. We're gonna say yes. So it's doing its thing, and while it's doing its thing, we might as well looking at some jobs, right? So let's put this down here. Cool. So let's see what they have in the North Carolina. That's a popular city. Let's go with Charlotte, I guess, North Carolina. Let's see what QA jobs they have in Charlotte, North Carolina. So look at that. On our first search, right? We have QA with Cypress Automation, Jasmine, Karma Experience. At this place. So hybrid, 3 days a week, 7 years in QA. Ooh. Candy should be strong in Cypress Automation, Jasmine, Karma. A multinational organization with offices in 17 global locations and possibility to work abroad. 15 days of paid annual leave, laptop and mobile phone. They don't say much of the requirements, but all right, cool. So QA automation for a QA automation lead, that pay is kind of low. I don't know about the Charlotte, North Carolina area. Maybe the cost of living is a lot cheaper. I don't know, but that pay seems kind of low for this level of work. Let's see. 4 years automation or 4 years of experience, automation testing, Selenium and Cucumber. And if it's Cucumber, I'm going to guess that they're using Java, right? But guess what? There is no security clearance that is mentioned. So, yeah, let's keep going. So, QA automation engineer, 6-month contract, needs to be in office 2 to 3 days a week. So I can take a quick peek over at Terraform. It is or it was installing. So it did install the requirements file. But the warning Python command. So we probably have to do Python 3 then, which is all good. So we'll just change that to Python 3 and we will do a Terraform destroy. I wonder if there's a way that you can like pick up from like wherever Terraform failed to pick up from there. Let's look it up real quick. So while it's destroying and then going to start it up, we're going to look for Terraform pick up from where it failed. It will get there eventually. All right. Has a lot to the story at this point. So, let's see. All right. While it's doing that, let's keep looking over here. So, let's see. So this one is definitely a Java job. So, and then a lot of people ask me, right, which one? All right. So, keep shifting back and forth, but let's go to Terraform apply. So, like I was saying, right? So while it's doing its thing, a lot of people ask, like, I'll go to full screen, right? A lot of people ask, which one to learn? Which one is more in demand, right? Is it Selenium? Is it Cypress? Is it Playwright? Right? Those three frameworks. And then they ask, should I learn Python with Selenium, Java with Selenium, JavaScript with Selenium, or should I go with Cypress with JavaScript, or Playwright with Python, or Playwright with JavaScript, right? It's a matrix, right? But I still believe that Java is more popular. Is the like for with Selenium, I think that Java is more popular. I think the TestNG testing framework is so powerful and it gives you so many options of things to do. It's so flexible, right? Like Java is probably the hardest language to learn, but at the same time, because I learned Java first, it is so quote unquote easy for me to start transferring that knowledge to other languages. So you've seen like how going into the JavaScript, like using Cypress and Playwright and WebDriver.io, I'm able to just like read the documentation and pick up on that, right? Python, not that much different, not that much complicated to port that, right? And if you go back over here, like you can see that this one is using core Java, Selenium, and TestNG, right? It's still to me the most popular one. Anyways, so define automation scenarios, all that. So what are the requirements? Bachelor's degree, 4 to 6 years of combined experience in automation and manual testing, and that knowledge of Selenium, TestNG, rest assured.
Message.
This is a position that Stephanie could be very well at, right? She is familiar with all of these tools, and the 4 to 6 years, they'll be flexible with that. All right, so this failed. Let's see where we failed at. All right, we are gonna wrap it up after this, but let's see where we failed at. So we failed. All right, so we're actually good. It actually went into running the script. The reason that it failed was it's a what you call it, the proxy settings for Selenium Wire. That's why it failed. But it actually went all the way into it, right? So you see, like it went to flow grappling, it went to and then got the proxy error, which we could troubleshoot that, but it's not necessary because our goal is actually accomplished, right? And this is from trying to run the Selenium. Like if I was to take out the Selenium wire from this repo or from the test, it would go in there and it would run successfully, right? But that's not the goal. And we can also do this as well. What is the public IP? Should have outputted the public IP, but we probably did, but I have no idea where it is. But what we're gonna do is we can just get that for now from our AWS instances. So let's go ahead and let's refresh that. And we go to here. Let's take this tab here and we do 4444. And we go here and we see our grid is up and running. So we will do. And when we look here, we see that our test, like our EC2, like our script successfully ran, right? It's just the common Selenium wire stuff, the configuration that we'd have to configure the proxy to work on here. So like if we look at in here, we would just have to figure out this configuration thing. Nothing serious, nothing major. But like we've already done this before, and we're not going to get into this again. So that's it, right? So what we're gonna do, we don't have to go into AWS to remember to terminate the instance. What we're gonna do, we're gonna do Terraform destroy, and we're gonna get rid of everything. So before we do that, if we go here, you see that we have our instance running. Let's see if the name apply. Look at that. The name applied, right? Remember when we set the name up right in? We put the name in here, right? And now the name is here. So awesome. Well done. Well done. All right. So let's do this. Let's go back to here. We are going to kill our Terraform, and it's going to shut down the whole instance, terminate it, all that good stuff. And we will not be paying any more money to AWS than we have to. All right. And you know what we can do as well? We can also, in the future, because I've never used Azure before. I've played around with Google Cloud, but I've never used Azure before. So what we can do, take this same file and we can try to apply it to Azure in the future. Not right now, right? Because we're learning, but we have been able to do a lot. I must say, we've been able to do a lot, and we'll continue to get better. All right. So let's wait till this. Oh, we are destroyed, so we are good to go.
I appreciate you.
All right. So let's go back to full screen. All right. We're almost at 3 hours, right? Great show today. Great time. I am happy with the amount of work that we're able to do. I'm super ecstatic that we were able to complete Don's little challenge, and we will take on some more challenges next time. Maybe we'll go into the API challenge, right? Because
You either win with us or you watch us win.
yes, that is the case. You will either win with us or you will be on the sideline watching us win as we continue to level up. All right. So on that note, if you are to this point with us and you have followed along, seen everything that we were doing, and you found it enjoyable, I would ask you to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live, every time we drop new content, everything that we're doing. I'd hit the notification bell. And I would like the video, share the video with somebody who would find it useful, somebody in the tech industry who wants to level up, somebody who's trying to get into the tech industry who wants to level up, right? And like I said earlier at the beginning of the show, check out that Welcome to Cybersecurity panel. It was very good. I will put it in the description, and I'll probably pop it right here or something like that so you can check it out and we can go from there. But at the same time, like I said, check out the Patreon. techcoachralph.dev will get you there, and you can sign up for free, and then you can choose a tier later on if you want. But just signing up, and you can be able to interact and everything like that, right? But on that note, I am so happy. I am ecstatic. I am so happy that we were able to live stream on this Sunday afternoon. If there was any buffering on your end, I sincerely apologize for that, but I would rather we have a little bit of buffering instead of the stream getting cut off all the time and we are not able to go through this amazing content that we did, right? This was absolutely amazing. I really, really enjoyed it. But the time has come. I must go, right? So before I go, remember tomorrow we have Candid Conversations coming out at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Where we're going to talk about nobody owes you a damn thing, all right? And then we have on Wednesday, we're going to have Docker Part 2, right? Where we're going to finish that up, where I'm explaining, the way that Docker works and why it's so important. And then on Friday, we have the Bug Bite, where we're going to be talking about the 23andMe security breach and, how we got to protect ourselves, right? Sometimes we can't always put it on the company. Like the company should be securing down their software, but we also have to protect ourselves, right? So check out that. So we have Candid Conversations. Nobody owes you a damn thing. We have Docker on Wednesday, and we have 23andMe security breach on Friday. And then we're going to be live streaming on Tuesday night Q&A session, and we're going to be continuing with Cypress this Thursday night, 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday, 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday. All right, and then like I said, check out the clips from the videos from the Q&A sessions that come out at 3 p.m. Monday through Friday Eastern Standard Time. All right. So on that note, thank you so much for tuning in. I really
appreciate you.
Really appreciate you for being here. And until we meet again, this is Tech Coach Ralph signing off.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Hear me, warriors of the North. Today we have tasted the sweet nectar of victory. Our foes are defeated, and their lands are now bowed before us. The gods themselves have favored our glorious deeds on this glorious day. We have shed blood, sweat, and tears to claim this land. Our relentless spirit, our unyielding determination, these are the very essence of our people. Let's believe our ancestors rejoice in the halls of Valhalla. For today, we have added to their eternal glory. Our victories will echo throughout the ages, and our names will be etched in the annals of history. But let's not forget the price we paid, the brothers and sisters we lost. They now feast in the hall of our forefathers, watching over us with pride. Their sacrifice has paved the way for this moment of triumph. As we celebrate this conquest, let us also remember that our journey is far from over. More land awaits our conquest, more battles upon us forth, and the fire in our hearts burn ever brighter. Their sacrifice has paved the way for this moment of triumph. To those who dare celebrate this conquest, let them tremble in fear, for they shall witness the fury of the northern storm, the wrath of the untamed barbarians. Today we celebrate our victory. Tomorrow, we set our sights on new horizons, uncharted land where our banners will fly high. We are Vikings, we're barbarians, we are masters of conquest.